Thanks, Laura and David. That was a lot of really good information. So our next presenter, Ryan Lizewski, is going to talk to us about manual updates, hydraulic manual updates. Ryan's a hydraulic engineer with FHWA's Resource Center, having 15 years of experience in the field of hydraulic engineering. Ryan was hired into the Resource Center last year with his prior experience in the private sector, providing consulting services in the Northeast. Ryan specializes in many areas of hydraulic engineering, including urban drainage, stormwater management, floodplains analysis, and hydraulic modeling. Ryan's currently the technical lead for the HEC 22 Urban Drainage Design Manual Update and several of FHWA's National Highway Institute courses. He graduated from Worcester Polytechnic Institute with a bachelor's degree in civil engineering.
All right, good morning, everyone. Just give me a moment to adjust the mics and load up my presentation. I should have known from Massachusetts, none of the city names are phonetic, so Worcester looks different. And free Dunkin' Donuts coffee, whoever can come up to me afterwards and with the correct spellings of Haverhill, Billerica, or Leicester, cities in Mass. That's no clue why they're pronounced the way they are, but. Anyways, so my name's Ryan Lizewski. I'm a hydraulic engineer with Federal Highway Administration's Resource Center, and I'm excited to be here today, my inaugural NHEC conference, to present some of the work that we've been doing to update our hydraulic publications and associated NHI courses. We've been fortunate, the Resource Center Federal Highway over the last few years to have the funding and resources to actually update many of these publications and trainings. There's been a lot of emerging topics and tools in the realm of hydrologic and hydraulic engineering that really are important to understand to help create, safe and resilient transportation infrastructure. I don't know why my disclaimers are a lot longer than the last two presentations, but they're mine, sans dinosaur. And one thing I want to mention too is I think I'll be presenting on about 6 publications. None of them are published right now. So the majority, if not all, could be considered technically complete, but it's still going through our review process, and that does take some time. You might see some of these in a month, or maybe, hopefully, before the next NHEC, all of these would be released. So I just want to state that, and of course, there might be some changes. I'm not going to get into too many details. This is really just a nice overview, just to get everyone excited, just kind of being a cheerleader here, the movie preview of what's coming ahead. And there are a few presentations later this week as well that will go into more detail on some of these manuals and trainings. So before I get into it, Joe gave a great FHWA update yesterday, and so I just wanted to introduce the Resource Center Hydraulics team, which I'm fortunate enough to be a part of now. Many of these faces you probably recognize, some of them myself. This is maybe the first time you've seen me. And so as part of the Resource Center, our mission is really to advance the state of the practice and innovation, and the way we do this is through training, tech deployment, and technical assistance. And some of the ways we actually achieve that is through issuing publications and guidance and helping develop trainings. So the trainings I'm going to talk about are mostly NHI focused, but I do want to mention, just kind of plug it, at the Resource Center, we really love developing custom trainings as well. So as I'm going through this, if there are particular topics or if you've attended NHI courses and you have an interest or your state has a need for a particular tailored topic on anything related to water, reach out to your local point of contact or reach out to me or whoever, and we'd be glad to assist you. And so, as you're probably aware as well, at Federal Highway, we kind of work within these 6 functional areas. And as part of the Resource Center, our expertise really weaves in and out of all of these. But at the Resource Center, we really try to, each one of us focus on one of these to really advance the state of the practice, be the champion, and really help with the innovation and get this stuff out there to states and practitioners. So. We'll take a drive down the Federal Highway Hydraulic Functional Class Highway. Before we do, just want to plug our website. This is where everything gets posted. You can sign up, receive, there's a newsletter, you can receive updates, links to YouTube videos, so it's a great resource. So our first stop, hydrology, which also includes floodplains and climate change. So we have two manuals that will be coming out in the near future. One of them, Hydraulic Design Series 2, Highway Hydrology. This is really kind of the basis that discusses the physical processes of the hydrologic cycle as it relates to highway and bridge design. And it really presents some of the applications in the design analysis of highway drainage features. So some of the things that are presented in this manual, analyzing rainfall, estimating peak discharge, developing synthetic hydrographs, and just general planning and designing of stormwater infrastructure. So as part of this HDS series, a lot of this information is kind of tried and true methods. So it's not necessarily emerging. That's what's coming up ahead in the next tech manual, the Tech 19, which we'll talk about shortly. But what we want to do with HDS2 is just really better align it with the current state of practice and what engineers and practitioners are actually doing. So while the technical content isn't necessarily just a brand new eye-opening stuff, we did kind of look at removing potential regression equations and other approaches that maybe aren't as utilized, aren't supported by a federal highway anymore, or just generally has been superseded by another preferred method. So like the federal highway regression equations, the USGS national urban regression equations, and there's a few others in there as well. Some adds to HDS2. Those we did kind of want to add in some specialty topics. So there is discussion on wetland hydrology, wildfire hydrology, and snowmelt. And then, so, if HDS2 is kind of our baseline tried and true, the HEC 19, which is a new manual, second version or second edition of a new manual. But anyways, it's emerging methods and tools for highway hydrology. So this is where we try to stay ahead of the curve and really advance the state of the practice. In this manual, we'll kind of build off of HDS2, and there's going to be discussions on non-stationarity, addressing changing land use and climate change, coincident flooding, detailed watershed modeling, wildfires. And so this manual, its real intent is to focus on the new and evolving practices in hydrology. And so before I get into the courses that we're helping update, I'm not sure how many people are aware of the NHI delivery styles as far as the availability of the courses, so I just wanted to provide some definitions to you guys as I'm talking about ILT, VILT, WCT, WBT, and all that good stuff. So there are several delivery mechanisms for these courses. ILT is your traditional classroom lesson. We all get together. There's a host that provides a space. NHI provides the instructors, and maybe one of us from the resource center will be there, and we give an in-person training. We have also, just kind of confused you a little bit, over the last year or two or three really, we've been migrating some of these ILTs to VILTs. So this is just a straight conversion of these ILT courses into the virtual environment. There are WCT courses as well, web conference training. This is live, scheduled time. There's an instructor there, but it's given virtually. So these courses are designed to be virtually taken, and they're live, as opposed to the WBTs, which these are your on-demand courses. And one thing I wanted to really stress is these are free. So there's a lot of good stuff out there that you can click through. They usually don't take too long. You can get credit for, if you have continuing education credits. If you're just looking to WBT and chill on a Friday night, we get some really good content for you. So anyways, back to hydrology. So we have a lot of good courses coming out. We're going to do a complete overall the practical hydrology ILT course, so that's the instructor-led training. We also have 3 WBTs. And so these are all focused on some of the specialty areas of hydrology, so wetland, arid lands, and snowmelt. And again, these are all in the works, and these are all free. Highway drainage design, so Act 22. So this is kind of the Bible and gold standard of your highway drainage. And so it's currently going through our review. It's been updated, and it's got a fresh new look. And with this update, we really tried to streamline the hydraulic design process. So it's kind of reorganizing the structure of the manual a little bit, and a lot of the information in the current HEC 22, it's still valid and good, but we fully realize that designers and practitioners are using software to design stormwater conveyance and capture the stormwater infrastructure. So we really want to focus on this update on providing some more information on what's going on in the calculations, what to look for, how to troubleshoot models, and kind of getting into that a little bit as far as the why and not necessarily the how. So If you want to go through that 20-some-odd step process to hand calculate iteratively their hydraulic grade line and energy grade lines on storm drain systems, you're welcome to. But that wasn't really the focus on what we wanted to gear and kind of point practitioners to with this update. And also under this functional area, we have the tech note, which this is actually out. New equations for curb opening inlet interception on grade. And so myself and James from the lab are actually going to be presenting tomorrow on this. So if you want some more detail on it, come check out that presentation. I think we're second session in the afternoon. And then also, we realize that pump stations aren't something we really try to endorse, but realize that sometimes it's necessary and unavoidable. So we are looking at updating a pump station case study design review just to kind of put some more information out there in the case pump station design is needed. Our NHI courses that we have, we did convert as well as some other courses, but I just want to plug the urban drainage VILT course. We are doing a complete overhaul of both that VILT and the ILT course. I would still recommend if you guys have an interest in taking this course, please register for it. All your favorite, frontal flow efficiency equations and graphs and all that good stuff is still in there. So it's still a lot of good content. So please, keep requesting these courses. But next time you see it in a couple of years, it will have a nice, fresh new look. And one thing we are developing as well is another ILT, looking at detention basin and stormwater BMP design. Bridge hydraulics, so HDS7 is being updated, it's a complete overhaul. What can I say about HDS? Two-dimensional modeling, I think that's really the focus of that, and that's probably the key word to take away. But really, we're looking at the critical aspects of bridge hydraulic design and just really kind of updating it based on a lot of the work and the two-dimensional modeling that we've been recommending, especially when it comes to scour and scour countermeasure designs. And with that, we are also completely updating the course for that, and this is going to be a blended course, so it's going to be a WCT, WBT course. So there's going to be instructor-led virtual lessons, as well as on your own taking some additional modules. And one thing I want to point out with these courses I'm presenting, these are just the courses that we've been updating as part of these manual updates. If you go to the NHI website, look at the hydraulics courses, and there are so many there. And there's a very good source of information. And with the two-dimensional modeling, the course has been updated, and there's a lot of WCT courses looking at inputs and calibration and post-processing of your SRH models. So certainly take a look through and see if anything is of value. And if you have any questions too, feel free to reach out to any one of us at the Resource Center. So scour, stream stability, and countermeasures. We have a new manual coming out. Again, it's the second edition of a new manual. But anyways, HEC 16, highways in the river environment, roads, rivers, and floodplains. So this is a really exciting, emerging topic. With the intent of this manual, we really wanted to make the fluvial geomorphology tangible and understandable for a wide-ranging audience. So you don't need to go out and do Rosgan Level 4 to be able to understand the impact that your transportation infrastructure and the natural systems may have on each other. So we really tried to condense this down, really with a focus on a wide-ranging collaborative audience focused on transportation infrastructure. So that's a new manual coming out. And then HEC 23, if you've attended the Bridge Scour workshop, on the first day with Scott, Laura, and Paul. That was a great introduction to some of the new content in HEC 23. If you missed it, feel free to reach out to any one of them or myself. We can provide the handout for you on that. And I believe Laura's giving a presentation later today or at some point after on HEC 23. So I'll let her get into the details of it. I guess summarizing that, you've probably all been doing it wrong. So certainly So anyways, and then the training for it. So again, just more bulleted list for you to take in. I just wanted to let you guys know that there's a lot of good content out there. So we get the stream stability, scour design and stream instability course, both the ILT and the VILT conversion, and then also two new courses in ILT on the roadway interactions with rivers and floodplains. So this is actually available now for you to take. It's really based on HEC 16, so take a look at that, see if you guys have interest in requesting to host that course. There's also a really good WBT, which can be used either as a prerequisite for this course, or also if you just want kind of a general understanding of some of those geomorphic principles, plan forms and bed forms and basic sediment transport processes when it comes to roadways and its interaction with the natural environment. It's available now, it's free, so certainly check it out. And then I want to plug to, there's some YouTube videos that'll be coming out on Scour as well. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of information. We've been really busy the last few years, so this is just a really good high-level overview just to tell you there's a lot of good stuff out there, a lot of good stuff coming. So with that, no clue I did on time, but hopefully all right. And I just wanted to just, the Resource Center isn't the only ones doing this. We have a great team of consultants that really are doing the bulk of the work in developing a lot of these manuals and trainings. Us at the Resource Center, we typically lead the technical panel, but the technical panel is made up from other folks on the national, FHWA's National Hydraulic Team, as well as other state DOTs. So it's really a collaborative effort, and a lot of people put a lot of hard work into these manuals and trainings to get them out there. So I want to thank everyone for that, and at that point, if there are any questions, I'd be glad to field them. Yep.
Yeah, we were thinking about hosting I guess they're VILT classes.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, how are those different from the CT classes?
The VILTs are, there's an existing ILT, it's a straight conversion, so it's the similar slide content, maybe some virtual polls. The WCTs have been originally developed purely for virtual delivery. So there's a lot of similarities between the VILTs and the WCTs, but if you have a VILT, there's usually a corresponding actual instructor-based course for it. So if you were nervous that you weren't able to host the course or get enough participants, for an ILT course, the VILT would be a good way to be able to still get that content to a range of audience, and it opens it up to someone, a greater geographic diversity versus just, having it in one room. So
the VILT still have like a minimum number of students, I assume you just have a larger pool from anyone?
Correct. Yeah, they'll open it up, so as opposed to people having actual travel to the hosted, wherever it's being hosted, it just opens it up to anyone virtually. So helps relieve some of that burden if folks are nervous or states are nervous on actually getting that minimum requirement for an ILT. Okay. Right on. Thanks, everyone.